Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Carrie here from Carrie Counts Cash. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Mentally, I'm not 100%. There's nothing really wrong, but I'm just not feeling super positive this week. We'll kind of chat about that as we go, but I hope you're all doing better than me. If we're kind of feeling the same this week, then welcome to the club. I thought I would get back at you with my second cash stuffing of October. This is my last paycheck of the month, and it's a kind of convoluted one, but we will figure that out together as we go. And I will make a confession later on down the road. But I do want to just get into it. We will start with my cash envelopes and my change. You can see I have quite a bit. This is the first cash stuffing after I was to Halifax, so there was like a lot of tolls and things like that. But let's count this and get going. Now, for those who are new, because we have had a few new subscribers, just bear with me. I've got some medical issues with this hand, so I'm a little bit awkward. So just bear with me, like I said, and let's kind of count and see what we got here for loonies and toonies. I did call the surgeon's office yesterday because it's been over a month since my CT and I hadn't heard anything, which I thought was strange. Like, I know it's not urgent, but I'm like, a month should be enough to read a CT report. And so I called and he's like, oh yeah, we haven't got it yet. Let me call and harass them. So I'm like, please do. Thank you. So hopefully soon. Okay, so for toonies and loonies, we have 2, 4, 5. That should not be there. 6, 8, 9, should also not be there. 10, 12, 13, $15 in toonies and loonies, guys. That's a lot of money. All right, I'm gonna put this in my swear jar over here. That's kind of off camera, just, it is what it is. And then for silvers, we have, this is $16, 50, 75, $17.25. And this one's over here on the other corner. $25, $30, $40, $50, $70, $18.15. That is not a bad haul. Oops. Hi, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Butterfingers. I answer to both that and Carrie. Nice to meet you. Okay, we're gonna start with Beauty. Now, Beauty is getting a little bit more than it might usually, but my regular nail tech is out, and so the one I'm going to next time is gonna charge a little bit more. Not too bad, but we're gonna put $80 in here, and I think it'll be like $60 with tip compared to my normal $50. And then I'll have a little bit to build up for the next time. So $50, $70, $80 going in Beauty. And I'm loving the Jack Skellington vibes. I absolutely love Nightmare Before Christmas. Eating out, we put $120 in here last time, so it still has 15, and that is absolutely bonkers to me. But I think what happened is the last time I went to eat out, I spent this out of spending because I didn't like fully have enough. So this money technically does belong to spending. So instead of putting this towards my challenge, I'm just gonna tuck that over to the side, right over here for a second. And we're gonna put $70 in eating out this time. And I did 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70. Yeah, I know I did it weird, but I put a lot of 10s in there. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70. And when I came back from Halifax, I was up at my parents' for a little while. My dad is home from out west right now. He will be leaving on Halloween, but I think I'll be going up there again because the car issues that I foreshadowed in my previous video have hit a head, so that has been a problem. So Fun has $70. We're gonna add 5. I spent money out of here. We went to the River Breeze Corn Maze and Haunted House like in Truro while I was down there. And it was so much fun. It was $30, so we gotta start building that up again. But nothing really on the horizon. I said I might go to a movie, but I wasn't quite sure. And we are gonna move into gas now. We're going to do something different with our gas money. Usually we would just roll this over into challenges, but what I want to do is I want to roll over any gas money into car maintenance moving forward. So I am just going to, where do I want to put this? I think I will just put it with the pot and try and remember, tell myself right now that I have $40 in gas rollover. So we're gonna do 200. Yes, we brought our budget back up. We will just see how it goes. Gas is going back up. It's not crazy different than when I went to Halifax, but I do know I have to go up to my parents next week and we will just see where we get. So there's 200 in gas right now. Groceries, we have some money left over. We have a 10 and a 5 to go in our $5 challenge. We're gonna leave the 50 and we are gonna add 180. Now, I know usually I put about $200 in here with whatever's left over included in that, but I'm gonna go get groceries right after this. Probably not a lot, but just enough to say I did. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 150. And then I think I did oops, that's the wrong pile. 160, 170, no, that's not how I did it. I did 5, 10, 15, 20 here. I am just dropping money like mad. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 160, 70, 80, 180, and then 50 is 230. So we will see where this gets us at the end of the 2-week period. And I don't think I'll spend a lot of time up at my parents' next week. And my mom was nice enough to make a homemade pizza. So I am taking the leftovers for work meals. But yeah. And for spending, yeah, okay. So the additional $15 over here belongs with spending. So let's twist that around. And so leftover, we didn't actually spend a ton of money out of here. We did spend a little bit in Halifax, but not much. So we have 20, 40, 60, 70, $80 left in spending. And we are gonna put all of this over into my wants envelope. So I really am just gonna set this to the side and we're gonna add $20 in spending this week. And that will take care of my cash envelopes. So that was $555 in total we put in there. And we're gonna move over to bills. I stuff most of my bills with the exception of my mortgage, which literally comes out of my bank account the day after I get paid. And you will see leave in for some of these. So I have just left those in the account because those are all due at the end of the month. And with working and then going to my parents on literally the last day and just being busy that day, I figured it was better just to leave it in the bank. So annual is like my Plum Plus subscription. This is a subscription to a bookstore here in Canada and I pay this yearly. It's $45 approximately, so we've got 30 in here now. I didn't have to stuff it this week, but I just decided to. And then buffer is kind of towards the end, so we'll skip that and come back to it. Car payment's gonna get $215 and I just paid that. So $200, $210, $215, and because I get paid bi-weekly, I always divide my bills in half. Cell phone is getting $80, 50, 70, 80. 50, 70, 80. Checking is getting nothing. This is basically just money that needs to go back to the bank, like for bills or any unbudgeted expenses. Credit card, I did end up leaving $45 in the bank for my credit card. So that payment has already been made. And that was for the foreshadowed car expense, which we'll talk about in a moment. Credit line, I also did elect to leave that in the bank. That was $250. I budgeted this week for that. So I have also made that payment of $250, and the money that was in here, I also have taken back to the bank. So in total this month on my credit line, I've paid $500. We started out at $38, and now I think we're down to $3,300. Yeah, the math is not my strong suit. Insurance is one of the ones that I left in the bank. So this is always due the first day of the month. So I normally stuff $130 in here. So I already had $130, and then I left $130 for my my new paycheck. So $260 total for insurance. Loan interest, I budget $65 a month currently for this. This may be changing because we've made huge payments to my credit line in the last little bit, which is what that interest is for. Power bill is getting $110. And subscriptions is also money that I left in the bank. My Spotify will be due here any day, and that was $11.49 a month. So I just added $10 because there was a little bit left over from my iCloud, and just a little bit extra, like $1.24 or something I had left over from the money that I put in, because Canada, of course, doesn't have $1 bills, so you have to round up. So there was just a little bit of a buffer there. TV internet has nothing. We're gonna do $80 here as well. And buffer is gonna get $10. Now, I'm trying to decide if this is just gonna be my bills buffer, or if I'm gonna use this money as like a cushion too whenever I go over my sinking funds as well. I haven't decided yet. I do have a cushion envelope coming. That should be here any day, and I guess I will have to do some more thinking about that, but I do kind of like the idea of having a bills buffer and then a cushion for my sinking funds, just in case I do spend over. So I might do it that way. Oops. And then utilities is basically my water sewer bill, and this week we're gonna put $15 in here. We had stopped stuffing that, but my bill has the potential to rise exponentially over the next little bit, so I do want to be prepared. So we have 1, 2, 210, 220, 225, and 230. I'm kind of hoping that there's going to be enough community outrage that they don't increase it to just like a flat rate for every single household paying the same, because this community does have a lot of like families and bigger households. So I'm dreading that, because a single girl doesn't end up paying much for water generally, or doesn't use much at least. High priority will be next. And the first one, car maintenance, is empty. We had $200 in here, but if any of y'all remember me talking about my heated seat not working, then they wanted $1,000 to replace the seat, but $150 to replace the switch. My check engine light seemed to like correlate when the heated seat wasn't working. If the check engine light was on, the seat wasn't working. So they looked at it and they think that it's related to like the wiring in the Outtro sensor. So they said that they really did need to replace that. So they quoted me $518 to do that work. And when I got my winter tires on, not yesterday, but the day before, and an oil change, my dad also replaced just a regular engine air filter. So that cost me $222.92. So some of the money that went back on my credit card down here was that. And then $200 was from my car maintenance fund. But we are going to stuff for my oh geez, the O2 sensor. That's what we're stuffing for right now. So I thought about it long and hard because clearly I didn't have that money in my car maintenance fund, and I didn't want to take it out of my emergency fund. So what I've done, and this might not be the most popular thing, is I have pulled it from my $5,000 savings challenge, and we will kind of try and catch up over the little bit, but it is what it is, guys. It just made the most sense to me. I didn't want to pull it from emergency. So we are going to be putting $520 in here that I budgeted for strictly, plus the $40 that I have left rolled over from gas money. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 40, 60. And so this will just kind of leave me a little bit of wiggle room, and then I will be able to start building this up again, and they are going to replace that sensor on the 1st of November. So that was a bummer, but it needs to be done, and then hopefully next year I will sell this car and get out from underneath it with a whole bunch of like repairs and stuff having been done the previous year. Now, Christmas was depleted a little bit. I had it fully funded at 1K, but I bought my first Christmas present when I was in Nova Scotia, and that cost me like $80.08, I believe. No, $89.08. And so in Christmas we have $910.92 left. We're still not stuffing it, of course, and we're just gonna kind of keep bringing our balance down as we buy stuff. So that's exciting. Christmas season is officially on its way. I don't say that it's here yet because Remembrance Day and things like that have to come first, but it's coming. So landscaping has $400, and we're gonna add 20. I feel like something's up with my bills, but we'll figure it out as we go. It'll have to be on the fly because how convoluted it was pulling money from the challenge and then budgeting out money to pull from the bank account. It had my head spinning, guys. You don't even know. Okay, so medical is gonna get $10. And what did I spend some money on here? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. 100, 150, 170, 180, 185 is what medical has now. And hopefully we can just keep building this up. But you never expect to get sick, so don't know. New car has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $800. Jeez, is that? I don't feel like that reflects what my tracker is. Guys, I'm sorry. This is all over the place. I think what happened is when I had the bonus stuffing last time, I didn't write that on my tracker. So this should be right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Okay. And so we're going to add $10 here. So there's 810 now. It's just been so hectic over the last 2 weeks. I don't know how you guys are doing, but I'm telling you, I haven't really had much for breathing room. And my babe Polaris is gonna get $50. So he has 50, 100, 150, 170, 190, $200. And I should need litter at some point here over the next like 2-3 weeks, as well as maybe food. We'll have to double check on that. Property tax is gonna get $115. And this is why I said my math wasn't mathing, because I should have another $100 bill here, but I don't. So it is what it is. We'll see if things are wrong at the end. So property tax has $2,000 in the bank. And 100, 200, 225. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in the back. there. And then vet visits is our last high priority. That is going to get $10. Nothing scheduled. His shots are due in March. 100, 150, 160, 170. And so when I took him to the vet the last time, the paperwork said that he was like 3 years old, which I could have sworn when I got him, he was already 2 at that point. I've had him for 3 years. So he's going to be 6 in February. And I think that's crazy because the vet was like so off, it wasn't even funny, but it just made me giggle last night when I like actually thought about that. That was kind of random. I'm sorry. Welcome to my world. Adventures. So we put a lot of money in this last week. We didn't actually spend, I don't think, any of it, but we're gonna add another $50. Now this basically is my vacation fund. I was stuffing this to go down south, but I'm a little ticked off. I don't want to rant too much on camera, but I think this is the reason why I'm kind of down this week, is I was gonna go with my brother and his family to potentially somewhere down south. They didn't know, Cuba, Mexico, or wherever. And then so he called at the end of last week and asked me if I knew if I was granted the time off, because you have to put it in so far in advance. And his job and her job, you really don't. So they knew immediately that they'd be fine. Like they just say, no, I'm not available at this time. And I had to wait until I got approval. And long story short, I spoke to my manager. My manager just said, go ahead and book it. We'll figure it out. Like, don't worry about it. But my brother and my sister-in-law had went ahead, booked it, got a great deal, didn't bother to tell me. And then when I went to book it, it was quite a bit more expensive, like to the point that if I'm going to go somewhere in February, I would rather pay the same money to go to Europe versus going down south. So I was quite steamed about it, and I don't know that I'm going to go, but I was granted the vacation time to book it, but I can't just like not go and use the vacation to sit on my butt, because it's just, I don't know. Anyway, not ranting on camera, but I was frustrated. So I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere or not, but we're still going to stuff this a little bit more extensively and see if we do find something fun to do. So in adventures, we have 100, 200, 250, 300, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80. 380. Does that make sense? Maybe. Gosh, guys, I'm so all over the place, I swear. 50, 100, 200, 253, 20, 40, 60, 80. There we go. There we go. There's $400 there. I was like, I knew something was off, but these sticky old Canadian bills just like to make it troublesome. Budget and planner, we're going to put $50 in here. Just getting ready for the Erin Condren sale for Black Friday. I think I'm going to buy from that. Clothing. I know that it's October in Canada, and I'm usually complaining about how cold it was, but I bought a pair of shorts. And so that says it all. It's still like 16 to 20 degrees sometimes at night, which is insane. Usually it's like 5 degrees or less here. And I know they did get snow out in Alberta, but we haven't got that yet, which is unbelievable to me. So there's $60 in clothes. And since I'm not going down south, I don't know if I will be buffing this up or not. DRO got 5. Basically, all of my sinking funds from this point out are getting 5. DRO has 305 now. This is like my phone leasing program. If I keep it, I gotta pay. If I give it back to them, I don't. Bill will find any reason to suck money out of your soul. Household is going to get $5. So it has 20, 30, 35, 40. Miscellaneous is going to get 5, so that's 25 in there. And then special occasions will also get 5. So that's $55 total for special occasions. Toiletries is going to get 5. 50, 60, 75. And wants. Okay, so wants now has 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, 120, 125, which is great because one of my video games has downloadable content that is an expansion coming out, I think on, what day is today? Wednesday? Thursday, Friday. It's Friday night, and that's great because that's my switch over from day shift to night shift. So I will have time to play that when I get home from work. And I might need it for stress relief. So that's it for low priority. And then last but not least is going to be savings. So emergency fund is gonna get $50. And y'all might judge me for that decision to take money out of my 5K savings challenge, but I did what I thought was best for me. And we can always slowly but steadily build that back up again. So I was happy with the decision that I made. So there is $1,000, $2,000 in the bank, $2,000, 50, 75, 2,075. Whew, that was an unnecessarily difficult mouthful of words. Parents is going to get $25. And so now in parents, we have 50, 70, 90, 95, $100, which makes me happy. Savings is going to get $25, which is a decent chunk considering what I normally put in here. So it has $500 in the bank, 20, 40, 65, 565. And then that brings us to our challenges. So this first one is my 100 envelopes challenge. And that one is up here. So last week we had opened envelope 85 and that revealed $68. So we always round up, but because this was $68, we went down here to the 68th envelope and we opened that one up. So we are stuffing 70 this week. So 50, 70 is going in my 100 envelope challenge. And for those who are new, we don't count my challenges in every video. We just count them in end of the month closeouts and bill swaps. So we will tuck this back in. And because $70 was the amount to stuff we revealed, we are gonna go over to envelope 70, if this makes any sense. And we are going to see what's behind there, $76. So $76 is what we are going to stuff for next week. Well, 76 rounded up to 80. Number 70 equals 76. Okay. So that was the 100 envelope. We'll come back to the $5,000 savings challenge. You will see that there is still, oh, I guess that was open. There is still the 1K in the bank. I have left that in there. I haven't depleted it completely. We had $1,760 in it, but I just figured it was better served in my car maintenance fund instead of just sitting here doing nothing for me. So I don't know if I want to stuff this 125 or not. Flip a coin. We did pick, we did flip for two tails last week, and those were 44 and 43, so round those up to 45 each. 20, 45 for one of them. And then 20, 45 for the next one. And sometimes I might flip for the coming weeks, but I don't think I'm going to do that. We will just flip next week and see what we get. We might only do one of them. We might do more than that. We might not be able to do any. We will, I guess, find out on our next stuffing. So Saveopoly, let's go over here. This one is one of my favorite challenges, but this one is not exactly cheap, so it is a little bit difficult at times. Reach for my die. And we got a 5, so grab my little doggy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So save 90 in Saveopoly this week. So 50, 70, 90. And we are coming around the expensive side of the board. Yeah, so these all get quite big as we go around. Snakes and Ladders is next. So last week we were on 37. I know it's kind of hard to see in between the ladders. So let's roll. We got a 2. So one, 2 brings us to 39, so we will stuff for 40. 1, 2. And then we are at the head of a snake, so what does that take us down to? It takes us down to $3. So we are also gonna stuff $5 here for this. So in total, $45 for Snakes and Ladders. This one is super condensed still. I must not have stuffed very much in it last week. So what do we have left? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 20. I'm wondering if I want to, well, first of all, we have to do $15 for no spend because I had 3 no spend days. So $15 there, which leaves us with 105. I wonder, instead of, let's mark this off before my squirrel brain forgets, $15. It's my little no spend envelope. We put $5 for every day we don't spend any money. Instead of doing the 125 for the, oh, yep, I see a 105. So let's just double check. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 105. So let us put this into our $5,000 savings challenge. just to kind of keep buffing this up. Now you'll see I did switch around the tracker. I had just erased it and started over to make the $1,000 that's still in the bank. And then we will just keep improving from this point on to try and make up the money that I had taken out of it. Here we go. And what I think I'm gonna do instead of using the tags anymore is I'm just kind of gonna run my finger around and then like close my eyes and see what I get. And that's what we'll stuff the next time. That will kind of be my goal from now. And then if I land on something that's already colored in that we've already stuffed, then I'll just move over to the right and see what the next uncolored one is. So next week we will aim to stuff $100 in our $5,000 savings challenge. And I think what I'm gonna do is, because you know I'm so OCD, we're gonna color in this one up here. You feel me? And then so the last thing to do is to put our money in our $5 and our $10 savings challenge. We didn't do too great this week, but that is okay because $15 is more than I had last week. And I know these videos are really, really long, so thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it, guys. I love coming on here and chatting with you, and I love watching your videos and meeting all of you. And it just kind of makes me feel better about my journey and just kind of keeps me motivated. So thank you so much for all the support, all of the likes, all of the comments. It really makes my day. If you like this content and you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing that. And I will see you in the next one, which probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can cross these two fingers, and that my new envelopes will be here. And I did order something else from Intentional Living that I haven't yet shared with you guys, but I might not need it at this point where I'm not going away. So we'll see. I will see you when I see you. Bye.